And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a popular new game that just came out at Essen this year called Yugo. This is a trick-taking game. Seems like a pretty big box for a trick-taking game. That's because each player has a scoreboard. The scoreboard actually comes in two puzzle pieces. You put those together. And in this game, there's a theme of you getting kingdoms and farmers and blah, blah, blah. But essentially, it's just a trick-taking game with a unique way of scoring points. Let me show you. Each player has a scoreboard in front of them, and we'll talk more about the scoreboard in a second, but let's talk about this deck of cards that players have. This deck of cards has various numbers in it, and they go from 0 to 8 through the different colors, and a number of these will be dealt out to each of the players depending on how many players are in the game. One person goes first, and that person plays any card from their hand down. So let's say I play a 3 red. That means each person must also play a red card from their hand, unless they don't have a red card, in which case they can play any card they want. After everyone's played their cards, the person who has played the highest numbered card, it does not matter which color it was, unless there's a tie. Let's say two people played 8s, then the person who played the same color as the person who led would win. That person gets all these cards and wins them as their trick. So let's say I start with yellow, and someone else plays yellow, and someone else plays yellow, and the last person plays blue. Well, that person, even though they're blue, they played a 6, which beats all the other numbers. Now, when you get these numbers, you must put them on your scoreboard to create kingdoms. When you create a kingdom, let's look at that first hand. I won 3 reds and a yellow. So I would take these 3 reds, all my of the same color go together, and I put them here. By the way, I said 4 colors. There's actually 5 colors in this game. And then I would put the 6 like thus. Later on, let's say I won the next trick, and I got a 2, 3, 5 yellow and a 6 blue. Well, the 6 blue is easy. I can put that here. But the problem is, I want to put the 5 on top, but this was a 6. Now it's going down to a 5. If later on in the game I play and I take a trick that has a yellow 0 in it, I have to put it here. Once you start a kingdom with a color, that's the color that will be there. So here's a 6. So you can have one of all the different colors there, but you want to have the highest number on top. So if you win multiple, let's say I win a 3 and a 5 on the same turn, I can pick the order they go down, but once they're down and I win another card, it has to go on top of the cards that are down there. Now, you'll notice that many of these cards at the top show people on them or farmers on them. If you win a trick, let's say I win a trick with this 5 card, it shows 2 farmers at the top, I also get 2 farmers. I must put the farmers from left to right on my board. This board already has 2 farmers on it, but there's spots for 9 more. Players can also get farmers from playing 1s and 2s and not winning the trick. Normally you only get the farmers if you win the trick, but if I play a 1, let's say I play this 1 yellow. If the color led was yellow, I would get 1 farmer if I lost. I would get 2 farmers if the trick led that wasn't yellow. The 2 is the same way, except you have to play a 2. The only way you get farmers is if you play the card and it's not the same color as the color that's being led. And again, you have to follow the trump that's led, the color led if possible. So you won't always get farmers for 1s and 2s, but they are ways to get more farmers onto your board. So let's say that this is the way the game ends, or the round ends, because the round will end after everyone's played all the cards in their hand. Each of these is going to give me points. So I have 8 and 5. This one does not give me points because I don't have the farmers completely underneath it. But let's say I managed to get 1 more. Well, that's not so bad then. I have 6 plus 5 is 11 plus 8, 19 points. However, you lose 5 points for each farmer that you haven't gotten if you put a kingdom card there. So this would be minus 20. I'd actually lose a point on this round. Now, if I hadn't taken this green card, this would be a really great number for me, 19. Although it would have been better had I not gotten that 0 there. So you need to get these farmers across, because if you don't get any farmers but you take lots of cards, you're going to lose a lot of points. Also, let's say I don't take many cards, but I do get a pile of farmers across. Then the numbers that are printed on the board will count for you. So if I got my farmers up to here, I would get the 8 points, and then I would get 4 more points for those. You always will get the points for your first 2 colors, so those are important when you place those down. You play 4 rounds, dealing out the cards and doing the same thing over again, and whoever has the most points after those rounds is the winner. Now, this is a good trick-taking game, but I don't think it's a great one. And for me, the biggest negative factor of this one is the fact that you don't deal out all the cards each turn. It drives me nuts. You only deal out 10 per player. So I believe in this deck, there are 45 cards. So in a 4-player game, only 5 of those cards out. That's not too terrible. But when you play a 3-player game, 15 cards are out, and then it's just really random mashiness. So to me, this game must be played with 4 players. And even then, I'd be tempted to give everybody 11 cards and have 1 card be out. But we'll follow the rules. Now, so that's kind of a little bit of annoying to me. Other than that, though, I really enjoy it. I like the idea of trying to win tricks, but you can throw someone a low card, if possible, sometimes in a trick. And maybe you lead out with an 8 red, and then everyone else plays red. I don't have red, but I got that yellow 0, and I see that you have a high yellow on your board already. I'm going to throw that yellow 0 in the mix and make you cover up your high number. That's fun. And really, this game has some very distinct similarities, some shades to a trick-taking game that I like a lot called David and Goliath. The farmer thing is also a neat aspect because it gives you something else you need to do. You're not just trying to win as many cards as you can and high cards, but you're trying to get these farmers across the board so you don't lose points at the end of the round. This is a very easy game to learn and to play. And like I said, I think it works best with 4 players. 2-player, you shouldn't be playing many trick-taking games with 2 players anyway. And it just isn't that interesting. With 4 players, though, it's certainly a change in the genre, especially for people who've only played straight-up regular trick-taking games. This is going to bring something new as you put out these cards, as you try to win farmers. I enjoy it. It's a fast-paced game. My only caveat is that all the cards aren't dealt out, so there's the fewer players, the randomosity of the game goes really high. But as it is, with 4 players, it's a solid trick-taking game, and if you like that genre, which I know a lot of people do, this offers something just a little bit different and also allows you to mess with each other a little bit, which is always fun.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.